What if I told you that in the deepest archives of ancient texts, hidden beneath layers of forgotten lore, lies the most impossible story ever recorded? A story so radical that it challenges everything you thought you knew about redemption, forgiveness, and the nature of divine justice itself. Picture this. Among the countless fallen angels cast into eternal darkness, writhing in the flames of their own rebellion, only one found his way back to heaven. Not through power, not through cunning, but through something far more dangerous to the forces of darkness: genuine repentance. You're about to discover the secret that hell tried to bury, the name that demons refuse to speak, and the truth that could change your understanding of second chances forever. If ancient mysteries like this intrigue you, hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started on this journey through the hidden corners of divine history. Let me take you back to the moment when creation itself trembled. You've heard whispers of Lucifer's rebellion, but the reality was far more catastrophic than any human mind could comprehend. This wasn't just a political coup, this was cosmic warfare that shattered the very foundations of divine order. When the morning star raised his banner of pride, 1/3 of heaven's host followed him into rebellion. These weren't minor angels, these were beings of immense power, creatures whose voices once sang creation into existence. And in that terrible moment of choice, they chose themselves over their creator. The war that followed left scars across eternity. Brother fought brother, light clashed with darkness, and when the dust settled, the rebels found themselves hurled into a prison of their own making, a realm where hope goes to die. But here's what the ancient texts rarely mention. Among those fallen, one spirit began to question whether this exile was truly eternal. While his fallen brothers reveled in their newfound freedom to corrupt and destroy, this nameless angel felt something else entirely, a growing hollowness that no amount of rebellion could fill. You see, while others found twisted pleasure in their fall from grace, he discovered that turning away from the light didn't bring liberation. It brought a loneliness so profound it threatened to unmake him entirely. He walked among the damned, but he was fundamentally different. Where they schemed and plotted, he wandered. Where they celebrated their corruption, he mourned what they had all lost. He became a stranger in his own realm, too fallen for heaven, too pure for hell. This mysterious figure began to do something unprecedented among the fallen. He started to remember not just what he had lost, but what he had turned away from. And that memory became both his torment and his salvation. As eons passed, this wandering spirit began to witness something that shook the very foundations of his understanding. From the shadows of creation, he observed moments of divine mercy that seemed to contradict everything he had been told about the permanence of judgment. He watched as a wayward son returned to his father's arms, welcomed not with condemnation but with celebration. He witnessed King David, after his terrible failures, finding complete forgiveness through authentic repentance. Each scene of mercy he observed planted a dangerous seed in his consciousness, the possibility that grace might be more powerful than judgment. These weren't just stories to him, they were evidence that the Creator's love might be more radical, more transformative, more all-encompassing than anyone had dared to imagine. And with each act of mercy he witnessed, a question began to burn within him. If mortals can be forgiven, what about the immortal? The turning point came through a vision that would forever alter the trajectory of eternity. In the mystical valley of dry bones, he encountered something that defied every law of spiritual physics, the power to resurrect what was thought to be permanently dead. As he watched scattered bones reassemble into living beings, he heard a voice that cut through millennia of condemnation. Can these bones live? The answer that thundered through his essence wasn't just about physical resurrection. It was about the possibility of spiritual renewal for even the most hopeless cases. In that moment of divine encounter, something unprecedented happened. For the first time since his fall, this nameless angel did something that shocked both heaven and hell. He spoke his guilt aloud, not in defiance, but in desperate hope for mercy. "I have sinned," he whispered into the cosmic silence. 3 words that would change everything. The response to his confession shattered every precedent in divine history. Instead of rejection, he heard a name, his true name, spoken with love rather than condemnation. "Abdiel, faithful servant, your repentance is accepted." This was the moment that hell tried to erase from all records, the instant that proved redemption could reach even the unreachable. The gates that had been sealed shut for millennia suddenly opened, not through force or trickery, but through the simple power of authentic repentance met with infinite grace. Abdiel, whose name means servant of God, became living proof that no fall is too far, no rebellion too great, no darkness too deep for divine love to penetrate and transform. But here's the beautiful twist in Abdiel's story. His redemption didn't restore him to his former celestial glory. Instead, he chose something far more profound: to become humanity's invisible guardian, working in the shadows to guide others toward the same mercy he had discovered. He became the whisper of hope in moments of despair, the gentle push toward repentance when pride held souls captive, the soft touch of grace when guilt threatened to overwhelm. His service wasn't about reclaiming power. It was about using his experience of both fall and redemption to help others find their way home. Every person who has ever felt too far gone, too broken, too stained by their choices has felt the invisible touch of Abdiel's wings, reminding them that no story is finished until mercy has the final word. Now, here's why this ancient mystery matters to you, right here, right now. If a being who literally rebelled against the source of all goodness could find forgiveness, what does that say about your own capacity for redemption? You see, Abdiel's story isn't just about an angel, it's about the radical possibility that no one is ever truly beyond hope. Every mistake you've made, every relationship you've broken, every dream you've abandoned, every person you've hurt, and none of it has to be the end of your story. But here's the catch that changes everything. Abdiel's redemption required one thing that no amount of time, suffering, or good deeds could substitute: authentic repentance. Not just feeling sorry, but being willing to turn completely away from what caused the fall in the first place. The question isn't whether mercy is available to you. Abdiel's story proves it is. The question is whether you're ready to do what he did. Speak your truth, own your choices, and open your heart to a love so powerful it can resurrect even the deadest parts of your soul. Your redemption story is waiting to be written. The only question is, what will you do with this impossible possibility?